Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to A Hoops Journey. What Chris Joseph wants, Chris Joseph gets. So we have a Toronto legend, to me a young man, but everybody's a young man these days because I'm just getting nothing but older. Representing Jane and Finch, played for our nation many times, suited up across overseas, played in our pro leagues here, a competitor and a warrior, played high-level Division I basketball. And not only that, a gentleman who has an amazing story. And that's kind of the reason we want to get him on, other than him being a fantastic hooper. And, you know, from what we've heard in the interviews we've seen, a very outgoing, fine young man. We are blessed and honored to have no other Mr. Junior Cadougan with us today. How are you, sir?
I'm good. And you?
I'm good, man. Life is busy, but no complaints. You know, we just laughed before we started here about our lives, and you're currently in dad mode while we do this, and I'm just finishing work. But you know what? After the last couple of years we've had, there's nothing you can do but look back and reflect and be thankful for all that we have at this point, I think. I don't know how you feel about that.
Exactly, man. Just be blessed to be alive, man. Thank God every day for you know, keeping you alive and, you know, hopefully healthy, and just thank God, man.
100%. And just coming off, you know, Easter weekend, what's your life like these days? Where are you at? What are you doing? How's the family? And how's everyone sort of slowly as we transition from 2 years of, you know, a crazy COVID time and getting yourself and your life somewhat back to normal, although you've been hooping in between and,
right,
you know, you've had a unique experience with that as well, which we'll probably touch on too. But how are you and your family doing?
You know, everyone's, you know, mentally good for the most part. My kids are, you know, starting to get excited because they could be outside in the real world now, get to go to, like, you know, play places and, you know, meet other kids and go to the playgrounds and, you know, stuff like that. You know, for the most part, we're just getting ready to, you know, go to Newfoundland because I signed with the Newfoundland Growlers for the CEBL. So,
congratulations.
You know, just getting prepared to go out there and, you know, spend the summer out there.
Yeah, it's weird when you got young ones and you think like 90% of their life is socialization, right? And meeting other kids, learning how to share, you know, fighting over toys, you know, whatever it is. But we've had times as young parents trying to, like, we have to pull back on those things. It's weird, right? Just saying, like, no, don't touch that, or can't do that, or no, we can't go play with your friend. Like, so weird to think that would actually be something, right? But kids are, in a lot of ways, I think, more resilient than we are. You know what I mean? Like, they brush that stuff off, and I'm sure your kids will be right back into it like it never even happened. And they're still at a young age where hopefully it won't affect them that much. You know, I have a 5-year-old too, so hopefully this will just be a blast in the past when they're old like me.
Exactly. Exactly. Right on, man. Right on.
Yeah. Well, let's get right into it, man. Tell the people, you know, this is a heavy West Coast podcast, but I'm honored when we get people from all over the country because we want this thing to blow up. So get someone like you with your name attached to it. It's great. And your story is amazing. So let the listeners know, what was your life like as a young guy? And how did basketball sort of start to come into your life and be part of, you know, essentially who you are, and how that ball just got attached to your hip 24/7?
For my story, I'm gonna try not to, like, take up all your time, but it's quite a journey, man. So I'm gonna try my best to, like, kind of crunch it a little bit. Okay?
Yeah, please do, man. Whatever, it's your story. So
all right, so
the people are still listening at this point, so you're good.
All right. So I'm Junior Cadougan. I was born in Toronto, Ontario. I grew up in the area of Jane and Finch, single mother home. I got 2 brothers, and the eldest is my sister. I pretty much picked up basketball from, you know, following my brother. He used to compete. He played high school basketball at George Harvey, and at the time, Runnymede High School was a powerhouse in the 90s.
Yes,
so,
sir.
like, there's times where he would, because in kindergarten it was half day, so there's times where he would pick me up, you know, after my half day school, and, you know, bring me to the games, and, you know, have one of his friends, you know, watching me while I'm watching him play, right? So, you know, me watching him play high school basketball really put the battery in my back, and really, like, had me, like, you know, wanting to play basketball and pick up the basketball. And, you know, it all started off of, you know, playing in the hallways in my apartment building, you know, playing with the kids outside. And we moved from our first neighborhood, our first neighborhood was Jane and Walner. We moved from there and went to Jane and Finch. That's where it really all sparked, because, you know, there were more kids of my age that really like played basketball and enjoyed it. So, you know, I'm going outside every day playing against kids that are playing basketball every day. So, you know, that's basically like working out every day. So, you know, once that happened and we moved to Jane and Finch, went through elementary, and as I got to middle school, when I hit 8th grade, this is where the journey really started. My middle school, Oakdale Park Middle School, had a tournament at a basketball tournament at Eastern Commerce. It was like the top middle schools around the city competing in like a tournament / showcase. But everyone knows the goal is to the goal is for Big Dog to see you and you know, be like, yo, that's the one, right? So
right.
So my middle school goes to Eastern Commerce for a tournament, and I'm tearing it up, man. I'm like, man, I gotta get in that office there. Like, I gotta talk to you know, the legend Coach Rana, right? So I end up killing the tournament. I get MVP. You know, I end up you know, reaching my goal and, you know, getting the opportunity to talk to Coach Rana. And, you know, Coach Rana was telling me what Eastern Commerce is about, really high on basketball, you know, education, trying to get you to the next level. So, you know, after I finished middle school, I'm trying to figure out what high school to go to. And one of my friends that grew up in Jane and Finch was already playing at Eastern Commerce. His name was Keaton Cole. And at the time, Keaton was the starting point guard for the junior team. So I had to convince my mom to tell her, don't worry, you know, me and Keaton could take the bus in the morning. You know, everything's going to be okay, because he was from the north side of Jane and Finch, and I'm from the south. So we'll just meet in between and take the bus together. So when I made that decision to go to Eastern Commerce, the sacrifice started from then, because my little brother was just born, and he was about 3-4 years old, and he had to I had to wake up in the morning at 6 a.m., get my little brother ready for daycare, make sure he has all his stuff for daycare, take my little brother to daycare, and then meet Keaton at the bus stop so we could take the bus an hour away to go to high school. So it was just the commitment from there. And, you know, as I got to Eastern and started to build a relationship with Coach Rana and, you know, Coach Trevor Bullen, playing juniors really gave me, you know, huge recognition, because I'm just coming in out of high school and I'm like dominating juniors. So I asked Coach Rana, like, you know, can I play seniors? Like, this is too easy. Like, you know, can I play seniors? He's like, you know, the swag, everything is going, because like I'm like in high school and like, you know, I'm dominating. So I'm like, man. So Coach Rana, can I play seniors? He's like, nah, you can't play seniors. It's more of a seniority thing, you know? I'm like, all right, cool. So that even got me even, you know, more upset, because I knew I could compete on the senior level, but I ended up playing juniors. So we end up winning cities, winning all the tournaments and stuff like that. So after my freshman year in high school, you know, the hype was all there. At the time, they had a magazine named The Dish, which that was going around to different high schools. It was my boy, Alex Hill. His father was doing that magazine. So, like, you know, the recognition was there. So after grade 9...
So you're starting to feel it already, huh? Just at that age, you can feel the hype
like
building.
Exactly. When I'm at Eastern Commerce, I could start to feel like the thing building, right? After my freshman year, you know, going through the season and, you know, being in that local magazine, The Dish, and being in Toronto Star, things are growing. And after that, I started playing AAU with Coach Ro Russell. Right. So once I started playing AAU with Coach Ro Russell, I started to get on a bigger stage, because like every weekend I would go, I'd be playing against like top tier kids my age, you know, because like the AAU team had the recognition. So Coach Rana was putting me on a stage to be successful in Canada, and Coach Rowe was putting me on the stage to be successful in the US. So they're both bringing two different things to the table. So after grade 9, that summer, I'm playing AAU, and then Coach Rana brings up something that I never even heard about. Like, if I didn't go to Eastern Commerce, I don't think that I would even know about this. It was basically the training camp to be on the Ontario team. It's called the JDP NDP teams. So Coach Rana said, he was like, yeah, the NDP team is 1 year. The guys are going to be 1 year older than you, but you could still get invited to try out, right? Mm-hmm. So that summer I get to NDP camp, which is basically the starting stem of getting to the national team. I'm in NDP camp. I'm doing really well. You know, I make the team as a 14-year-old. I get on the team. From NDP camp, I make it to the Ontario team. We end up winning the gold medal in Nova Scotia at nationals. I end up being on the first team, all Canadian team, and then from there, I end up getting a call to the junior national team. So from
it's happening fast,
school,
man. Things are happening
middle
fast.
School, yeah, it's happening so fast. From middle school to dominating middle school to getting to Eastern, winning everything in juniors. Oh yeah. Sorry, I forgot. After winning everything in juniors, Coach Rana put me on the stage again. He brought me to OFSA. He brought me to 4A OFSA, right? Mm-hmm. And we won a gold medal for 4A OFSA. And I had a little part in that. He let me play, garbage minutes and stuff. But that still meant a lot to me because, at the beginning, I wanted to play seniors, right? So all that is going on. All those accomplishments are going on. And then after I come home from winning the gold medal for Team Ontario from Nova Scotia that summer, August, a tragedy happened. And there's actually like a full-on drive-by shooting at my house. 4-year-old brother got shot 5 times. And that was like, man, it's crazy how things could be going so good. And then at the snap, it's like, that happened. So like once that happened, I didn't know where to go, what to do mentally. I had a lot of thoughts in my head. Growing up in the neighborhood, it's always about you have those bad thoughts in your head. So I was like, man, should I continue playing this basketball stuff or should I go back to the streets and do bad stuff? So I had a conversation with Coach Rowe. I had a conversation with basically all my coaches, but at the end of the day, I had to take my talents across the border because it was just safer over there. And I also built up the recognition to be a top 10 player for my age group in my for my age group in America itself. So the plan was to go anyways. And once that tragedy happened, I just had to get up and go. So that was my little journey, my little high school journey in Canada. If I had it different, I would love to, for sure go to Eastern for 4 years and, win OFSAs and stuff. But unfortunately, I had to make the move to go to prep school,
Yeah. And I mean, you never know in life. I think you make such a great point about just you get caught up in all the excitement and the good things happening. And then all of a sudden something really drastic like you and your family like that. And that's hard. That's that reality. And how do you at a young age make those choices? Are you leaning on your mom and your family and the coaches around you? Or do you know in your heart that it's the right thing to do? I mean, you touched on that a little bit about just sort of, and for those that don't know the Jane and Finch area, right, just being kind of a rougher area and that people can get caught up pretty quick. So how do you decide that, or are you using other people around to help you, make that decision and know that that's what's best for you?
For my decision to go to school in the States, it made it a little bit easier because my one partner in crime that I was going to war with, on weekends was, Olu Ashley, and what is crazy is I was sitting down watching NBA one time, I think, and I'm watching the score. No, I'm watching highlights. I'm watching the score. I see this 6'8" muscle guy looking dude on TV saying that he's in high school, got a full documentary. And I'm like, Mom, look at this guy. This guy's in high school and he has a full story. Who is this guy? I want to be like that too.
Yeah.
So I end up, connecting with Olu through Coach Rowe because his brother had played AAU together. So when Olu was at Community Christian in Atlanta, he already had the experience. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to that school because we're connected through AAU coaches. And, I trust that, we could have a bond together. So now I get to Atlanta in grade 9. As soon as I get to Atlanta, as soon as the word's out that I'm attending school, boom, USA Today, first team off preseason freshman team.
What?
Boom, the Slam magazine tells me that they're going to have a LeBron issue that they want to do a 5-page article on me in the Slam.
I see you in those baggy shorts. I see you in those baggy shorts, the throwbacks.
I'm going through the tragedy.
Yeah.
Leaving home. No really phone plan.
Yeah.
No IG at the time. None of that. Just me and my boy Olu. He's helping me trying to figure it out. So when I'm in Atlanta and I'm doing these magazine shoots and I'm getting all this recognition, I'm still calling home, calling Coach Round, calling my mom. Like, I can't do this. I want to come back home. Like, I can't be away. Like, while going through this. Like, I need to see my little brother. So I'm going through all that as a 9th grader, getting all this recognition. I end up still having a good freshman season, keep my ranking up and stuff. And after my freshman year in high school, I come back home for the summer and I get a call. Saying that, we know that you played at Eastern Commerce. You had a good Ontario team camp. You're really building up recognition. I'm going to bring you into national team men's training camp. I'm 15 at the time. Coach Leo Rollins calls.
You can't even say that without laughing to this day. It's like crazy to think of, man. Yeah,
man. I'm Coach Leo Rollins calls me, asks to talk to my mom, and asking my mom if Junior could come to men's training camp. I know he's 15 years old, but we'll take care of him. Everything will be fine. So I was like, what? Like. Like the guy that I look up to, and he's from my neighborhood, Denham Brown, went to UConn, is reporting to training camp, and I'm a teenage kid, just like, huh? About to be in camp with you? Like, it's crazy, So, 15 years old after my freshman year, I attend national team training camp. I have a good camp. I'm actually competing and, showing that I belong. So Leo's really trying to push the issue, trying to get me on this team or whatever. I think I end up getting plantar fasciitis or something, and I think it was too much for me at the time. So I actually got treatment, and then, left camp and, actually got ready to, hit the circuit again. But, that was a wonderful experience. That really, sparked my confidence and, sparked everything about me, because I'm the best players in Canada and I'm 15 and I'm with these guys. So after that, I just took off really and just, started to play my game and, started to build up more recognition. And as I got to my sophomore year in high school, something had gone rocky at school. So, towards the end of towards the end of June, my AAU coach is telling me that my school, there's an issue between my AD and my head coach, so we're going to have to move schools. So I don't know if you heard about ABCD camp.
Of course.
Yeah, so my first ABCD camp was in 8th grade, right? So me and Lance Stevenson are the only ones that are there, in 8th grade. Mm-hmm. And by the time I get to my third ABCD camp, me and Oash is free agents basically, and trying to figure out what guys we could team up. The goal was to come out of camp with a guy that we could team up with to go to school with, right? So we're at camp and me and him is plotting, recruiting, and then having conversations to see all right, no, not that guy. We need a bigger guy. So boom, we get through camp and man, we're in camp and this guy is catching lobs, blocking shots, running the floor. And we're like, yo, who the heck is that guy? So we're like, Coach Rowe, who is that guy? He's like, that's DeAndre Jordan. He's coming up, man. He's raw. He's a raw talent. We're like, that's the guy we got to go to school with. you know? So boom, we have a conversation with DeAndre. He's trying to figure out what prep school he wants to go to. So we're like, yo, let's find a prep school. So we connect with their AAU coaches. There was a prep school in Humboldt, Texas. It was a Christian Life Center Academy. And he was from Houston. So he's like, yo, that's the school. We're like, all right, we're coming, da, 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 da. We get together, boom. I'm enrolling into high school in sophomore year. DeAndre Jordan's on my team. DeAndre Jordan's going to school with me, you know what I'm saying? And we have a blast. Like, he's a down-to-earth guy, but, like, that's even more recognition, right, that we're bringing to our school.
Of course.
So, boom, get through sophomore year, and then I come back home, and obviously I got to do junior national team. So I'm with the junior national team now, sophomore season, and we're competing, but like at the time, you know, we were frail. You know, we're just getting on the map. So, you know, we're going against OJ Mayo, Mike Conley, Greg Golden, Kevin Love. You know, the whole bang. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We're going through. We're playing against those guys in the summertime, and you know, we're obviously, you know, we're getting beat down. Like, they're way bigger, way physical, and you know, I'm telling my guys, like, yo. Like, one day, like, you know, we're gonna be up there right with them. Like, you know, like every time I go to an All-American camp or something, I tell them, like, yeah, there's a lot of guys across the border, but they just don't have the opportunities we have. Like, y'all gonna see one day, right? So boom, we're playing against those guys, getting smacked up, you know, competing though at a high level. Sophomore year goes by. Junior year, we make it to, I think it was junior year actually was DeAndre Jordan's last year. We dominate. We win the state championship. He ends up going to. I have a really good season. He ends up going to Texas A&M. That summer, my last junior national team summer, we end up playing in the FIBA Americas in San Antonio, and then we lost to the USA for third place. But at
17 a game, though.
Okay, you got it down.
Come on now.
You got it down, baby.
We gotta do a little bit of homework. Come on.
I like that, you know. So we made progress every year, you know. So I get to my senior year of high school, and you know, I have a really good year. End up winning the national championship, MVP. Getting selected to Reebok All-American camp, McDonald's All-American nominee, and I'm trying to figure out. At this point, I'm trying to figure out what school should I go to. So I narrowed it down to Louisville, Coach Pitino, and Marquette, Buzz Williams. So I didn't really know where I was gonna go. We end up having my last AAU tournament in Las Vegas, Super 64. Got Tristan Thompson, Mike Kabongo, Brady Heslip, a whole bunch of us. And we go to Super 64, and we were the underdog. And then we end up, you know, winning Super 64. I end up being the top 5 player in Vegas. And the last game in the finals was crazy because Peyton Siva and had Louisville in his top. Sorry, I had Louisville in my top. We're going against each other. Buzz Williams and Coach Pitino is standing right beside each other. Standing right beside each other, like drooling, like, yo, these are our point guards for the future. So boom, I'm playing against Peyton Siva. We end up beating Siva's team in the finals. And man, this guy with so much joy he's like, I don't care. I don't care if it's a violation. I'm coming up to you, telling you you're a dog. You're a dog. That's all I have to say. So I'm like, yo, damn, his energy is like, that's my energy right there, you know? Mm-hmm. So I end up taking an official visit to Louisville. It was okay. But then I find out that another connection, my boy, Jamie McNeely, he coaches at TCU right now. He has coaching experience with the junior national team. He ended up being a grad assistant at Marquette, and that was a connection through grassroots, just a Toronto connection as a whole. So I ended up going, and then also the point guard position was up for grabs because the 2 point guards that were there, they were backups at first, you know? So I'm like, all right, why not have go to a school where, you know, I could play as a freshman?
Yeah, no doubt.
So I chose Marquette, man.
Isn't that funny? All the options you had, all the people that came up to you tried to sell their programs, and it still comes down to like a T-dot connection that makes you comfortable. You know, I mean, obviously, you know, the PG spot being open is a big thing too, but really, yeah, like I think that's wild that it still comes back to a comfortable connection for you to go, you know what? All right, I'm going to make this decision, which is amazing. Like it's amazing.
Yeah. So it's like all to high school was a connection, to college now it's a connection. So boom, I get to Marquette University now, man. I kid you not. I land in Chicago because Chicago is about, you know, hour 30 from Milwaukee.
Okay, so hang on a sec here. Over the 3 years in the States, how many days did you make it back to Toronto for? Was it just when you were with the Nat, like 10 a summer? That's it? Like you're on the road.
National team gave me those days. Like,
right.
Without the national team, I would be probably in the States most of the time.
Full time, yeah. Do you feel like one of the things you talked about at the very start of this episode was having to get little bros lunch together, making sure these guys toque and mitts and everything, and sort of kind of in a you know, the saying would be like grow up fast a little bit, right? And I'm sure at times you were kind of wondering, am I doing the right thing? My mom's out working the whole time, kind of like, you know, I wish she was home more, but that probably, when you think about it, that time of your life probably helped you be more comfortable with traveling all over the States and being in different places. And although you had to call home and lean on some people, like just, you got to grow up quicker than most, which sometimes plays off for us, you know, and it helps us. And I can't help but listening to you talk. I couldn't imagine being 14, moving all over the world, getting exposure, you know, what grown men coming up saying, I like your game, come play for our program. And like, you get, you know, you're just trying to grow armpit hair. You know what I mean? Like, I just sit there and think of those scenarios of you trying to take care of your brother at a young age and growing up and being responsible for him and being responsible for you because Coach Rana has put his neck on the line for you to come to Eastern. And you're like, I'm not going to let him down. So I better be on that bus every day,
man.
You know? Have you ever thought of that?
Man, I think about that all the time. That's where I started. Think about it. I'm waking up the same time as my mom, and she's going to a full-time job. But I'm waking up that time to be responsible, get my brother to daycare on time, while at the same time catch the bus to meet my friend so I could get onto to Eastern on time, which is an hour away. So
I just don't know many.
Sure.
I just don't know. I'm always intrigued by how different people are on the show because once you reach a level of success, there's something internally or something happens that doesn't happen for the rest of us. And like, you're different, man. You can just tell. I mean, I don't know many people that age that are like, I'll do this. Yep. I'll make it happen. You know?
Right. Like kids are probably like, want to sleep in.
Hell no. Yes. Yeah.
You know, so man, that was the start, man. That my mom giving me that responsibility and trusting me, and I'm executing that. Like that was man. From then, like I'm always on time, always 10 minutes early. Like it's crazy for the national team. I probably think I was late once in the 16 years I've been in the player pool. Probably one time, you know.
Exactly.
So it's thank my mom because you know she put that bag in my back to you know have responsibilities and be disciplined. You know.
Yeah, so, man. If you're 5 minutes early, you're 10 minutes late.
Exactly.
Okay, so you sign that paperwork and you're on your way to Marquette. Up in these years, have you ever had like a pinch me moment? Or are you so damn busy just trying to accomplish your goals that you don't want to stop and pause? Or are there some moments where you're like, wow, like DeAndre Jordan and there's OJ Mayo? Or are you like, no, I'm going to go out there and prove that I belong too?
It's crazy because from the day from my first AU game, I was put on the stage. Like my first AU game was at Chapel Hill, playing against the DC Assault on the main court against Nolan Smith and Michael Beasley And then you have Sonny Vaccaro there. You have Rivers there. Oof. Watching me, my first game, like the Canadian kid, like everyone's talking about the Canadian kid. My first game against DCSL on Chapel Hill main court, and I had 20 points. And I wasn't even in high school. So like from day one, I've been on that stage where like I was actually fortunate and blessed to be put on stages where people could see my talent.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
it's crazy, man. And so how's that? And Marquette plus Williams, man. I mean, as a coach, like we'll get into what you thought of him, but I don't know. He seems like someone I'd like to play for, and I would run through a wall for that guy. He just seems to care about his athletes. I don't know. Maybe I'm off on that, but I'm looking forward to hearing your experience, in high level Division I basketball.
Yeah, man. So I after my senior year, everything goes good. I get to Marquette now. Oh, sorry. I land in Chicago. Probably like 5-6. My assistant coaches are there to pick me up. So it's like an hour and a half to get to Milwaukee. So we get to Milwaukee. I don't even go to my. Well, I'm lying. I get to Milwaukee. They drop me to my dorm. I get to put my stuff down. I get a call 30 minutes later. You need to come to the gym because, Buzz wants to meet you and stuff, right? So I get to the practice gym now. I just landed like probably 2-3 hours ago. I get to the gym now. I meet Buzz, whatever. He's talking his smack. I go downstairs. I meet the strength and conditioning coach, whatever. So I'm thinking that it's home time now. I got to get rest, from my day tomorrow, registration, whatever. Man, coach, the strength and conditioning coach is like, yeah, you're not going to get changed. I'm like, get changed? Like, what's going on? Well, your first workout is this evening. I'm like, huh? I just landed. She's like, get changed. Man, so I get changed now. So I'm doing all this assessment, we did a circuit to see how fast I could get through the circuit. We did box pulls. We did all kind of stuff, man. I'm like, what? Day one? This is crazy. This is what's going to be like for the next 4? I'm like, oh, man. So boom, I go through all the training process. I'm going through, I missed the summer because it took me longer to get qualified. Right? So I missed the summer. So all the guys in my freshman class were there from the summer. So I get there like 2 weeks before school starts, right? So I go through that. My first day, I'm like, what? So the next day, boom, going through the workouts. I kid you not, 2 weeks later, I had a BBM back then.
Yes.
Man, I was in the washroom. I took my shirt off. I took a picture and I sent it to my friends. I had a 6-pack. 6-pack, circuits, box pulls, weights, like things that I never even like wow, like, you know what I mean? So boom, I'm like, yo, I'm throwing it up, catching it with one hand, throwing it down with two. I'm like, yo, bro, I have arrived. Like, this is me. Like, I'm in my body. Like, telling my friends that, like, Yeah. So I'm thinking it's so sweet. So boom. The body's changing. Everything's good. I'm playing good in open gym. Oh, yeah. Jimmy Butler's my roommate, by the way, at this time.
What?
So, Jimmy Butler's my roommate at the time. Yeah.
And how's that?
My freshman year. It was cool. It was cool. He's a different guy, but he was cool. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm going through the workouts thinking everything's good. So we get to the real thing now, individual workouts, right? So these are the workouts where you have 3-4 coaches and you have probably like 2 or 3 guys with you, and we're doing skill drills and all this stuff. But Buzz's individual workouts is completely different. He has his own way of doing his thing. So we get to individual workout. My first individual workout, man, I didn't know what to expect. So the first thing we do is jump rope. So you got to do jump rope for 5 minutes, and you get 3 misses. You get 4 misses. If you do 4 misses, that's a 22, right? So some of the guys don't even make it out of jump rope because they get more than 5 misses each time, right? So it's me, and like, this is who Buzz put me with. It's me, the 5-man, the backup 5-man, and a next guard. So you know damn well you're not making it through nothing. so boom, we're doing jump rope now, and my bigs are messing up. So boom, 22. So we're 2, 3, 4 minutes into the workout. We done 4 22s without getting out of jump rope. So Buzz is like, "Get out of here! Get out! Like, get out of here!" I'm looking at this guy like, "Yo, like, what do you want us to do? Like, these guys can't jump rope type." So basically, I learned as I went on that you just got to figure it out. Like you just gotta dig in and just figure it out. No matter what y'all gotta do, y'all gotta make it through this workout, right?
Yeah.
So I end up doing these individuals. I'm gradually getting better. September comes, man. I think I did. This is my second individual workout for the day because we got kicked out once again, and my body's feeling like that freshman feeling, like the soreness, everything's kicked in, So boom, I'm in the workout. I'm about to run a 22, and I took off a little bit, and boom, my whole Achilles popped. I'm like, who the F hit me with a ball? Who hit me with a ball?
Uh-oh.
They're like, no one was near you, man. Buzz is like, oh, Achilles. I'm like, damn, what the frig? I never even been through anything like this before, So
I was gonna say, did you ever have any injuries along the way, like major ones? No?
Knickknacks, only knickknacks.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh man, all that hard work, potentially could be a starter as a freshman, coming with all this hype. My season's getting taken away from me, I'm like, man, my mind's like, what should I do? So I think the 2 days later, I end up getting surgery, right? Everything I'm telling you is facts. So not made up at all. Fact. So I get out of surgery, man. And I was on drugs, and I'm like, I open my eyes, I see my assistant coach, I see my trainer. They're like, Ju, what do you want to eat? My throat's hurting and everything. And I was like, not really nothing. So they brought me some Popeyes. So I'm like, yo, I look at my trainer, and I got the raspy voice, and I'm like, yo, I'm not sitting out. We got to get back to work. You know what I mean? And I end up falling back. I think I end up falling back asleep. Next morning, the trainer came. He's like, you know what you were saying to me last night? He's like, yeah. He's like, you were saying something about you got to get back to work. So I'm out of the drugs is kind of out of my system. I'm like, yeah, can we get back to work? So I have my cast on. I'm going through the pain. Man, he actually respected what I was saying. So the next morning after surgery, man, I'm starting my injury prevention 3 days out of surgery. So I got my cast on. I'm on the Vicodin. I'm on the Vicodin. I wish I could show you, but I'm on the side. You got to work from your hips all the way up when you have the Achilles injury. So I'm in the cast doing my hip mobility things already, laying on my side, working my hips. Yo, me and him developed the relationship so much. I was literally waking up 5 a.m, getting to the practice facility, starting my injury prevention with him, watch practice with the guys, back doing injury prevention, going to class, back to injury prevention. He's like, yo, bro, I never seen anyone's determination like this ever. I'm like, yo, bro, I'm not sitting out this year. Do you believe me? I'm not sitting out this year. He's like, we just need to take our time with this Achilles injury. I'm like,
yeah, because he's thinking that you're crazy. That's why he's trying to no, just take it slowly. In the back of his mind, he's like, you're crazy. There's no way you're playing. Yeah. Yeah,
there's no way you're playing this year. Man, bro. So we're attacking injury prevention. Gradually, I start standing up, to start doing lunges, to start running in the pool, to just everything is just going. Remember, I'm young too, right? So everything is just going smooth. The healing process is going. The flexibility is getting there. So once we got to the point where he's starting to grasp my cut and dig my cut up, get that scar tissue out and stuff like that, I start getting on the court low key by myself. I'm not supposed to be on the court, but when everyone's home, I'll go back to the gym, use my key card, get a weight vest in the equipment room, put on the weight vest, and start doing ball handling, like with the weight vest on. Like low key, I'm doing my own rehab while no one's watching. So, man, a miracle, man. Thank God, a miracle. What? 2 months passed by. We're about to play Syracuse, our third or fourth Big East game at Syracuse, right?
Yeah.
So, leading up to the game, we have, training and, scout team and stuff. So I finally get on the court after Christmas break, scout team, me, Jamie McNeely, a couple walk-ons. We're pretending to be Syracuse's zone going against, our guys, right?
Yeah.
So this is my first practice after Achilles. I get back on the court. Like, mind you, I did all the scar tissue stuff, everything, like, everything healed properly. Like, I got the okay from the doc. Like, every week he has to, like, crank my Achilles to see where the measurement is, like, the angle and stuff. Everything is good. I get on the court now, scout team. Man, like, I don't know, man. Like, the fire just came out of me that day. Like, that was my first time, like, Achilles injury, September. I'm back on the court in January practicing with my team. I'm hyped. Killing these guys. One of the point guards went up for a layup on the fast break. I pinned that. I look at Buzz. I'm like, yeah, mother, I'm here. So after the practice now, I'm putting up extra shots. So I'm looking at the corner of my eye. I see Buzz. I see Jamie. I see the coaches gather up. So I'm like, this is probably about me because, like, I just killed practice. So, after practice and stuff, I go up to Jamie's office. I'm like, yo, what's up, man? Like, what's good? Like, anything about me? He's like, nah, we weren't talking about you. I'm like, yo, bro, stop playing. Like, what's good? Like, like, let me know. Like, let me know what's up. He's like, all right. He's like, Buzz is thinking about playing you in the Syracuse game. Bro, I just broke down.
No doubt.
I blew my Achilles in September, and I'm back about to play my first conference game in January.
How?
Like,
how?
Yo,
how?
Was...
Like, we're not talking half a year.
I was so locked in. Like, when I tell guys that hurt their Achilles, that, like, I came back in, like, 2.5 months, 3 months, like, I'm like, yo, go look at the proof is there, bro. Like, it's there. Like that work, like that, like you said, like, it stems back from, waking up 6 o'clock in the morning with my little brother and getting him ready. Like, my focus was to not sit out freshman year and get back and get the feel. So next year, I will sacrifice my freshman year to, start playing, like, actually in the flow my sophomore year. I just wanted to feel. So my freshman year, that's what I went through. And I came back in 3.5 months. Yes, the balance and stuff wasn't really there, but I actually, like, suited up and actually, like, played, like, So boom, freshman year goes by. We make it to the Sweet 16 for the first time in, like, 10 years. Jimmy Butler has a good season. He made his name. He had to guard Kemba. He had to guard Marshawn Brooks. He had to guard all those guys. He's versatile. Like, he made his name. Jimmy gets drafted. Sophomore year, it's the pressure of, repeating and getting back to the Sweet 16. So sophomore year goes by. I didn't really play freshman year, so obviously I had to put in the work to earn my starting spot. So we got Dre Carter at the 4 this year, my sophomore year. He's a senior. We go through the season, started rocky at first, and then we end up being we end up winning and being a 2 or 3 seed at the end. But Jay Crowder ended up getting a Big East Player of the Year. Everything goes good. We get to the Garden. We in the Big East tournament, we end up losing. And now it's NCAA time. We win first round. We win second round against that undefeated Murray State team with Isaiah Cannon. We beat them, and then we end up meeting Florida in the Sweet 16. We end up losing, and then after, it's upperclassmen time. It's junior time. To the middle of the year, I end up winning the starting spot over my boy Dwight Bikes, my best friend. I actually worked my way. Exactly, it was another hurdle I had to climb, and I actually worked my way and got to it. Got to that starting position. We end up making the Sweet 16, go on to junior year now. We end up having a really good season. We get to the NCAA tournament again, make it to the Sweet 16 again. Good season. Now, the senior year, we get to my senior year. Before my senior year, Jimmy Butler brings me to dinner, and we're having a conversation. He's like, yeah, we made it to the Sweet 16 the past 2 years, but, it's your senior year. You did a lot. Like, no pressure. Just go out there, have fun, be a leader, be a senior, and everything will work out for itself. So I take Jimmy's advice. I'm doing slow grind. I know what to expect, coming into the season.
Did you see yourself as a leader at that point? Like, at what point did you feel like, okay,
like I arrived?
It's not me just skip roping with the bigs and I'm like, hey, come on, bigs. But I can't say anything because I don't know you yet. As opposed to being like, let's go, fellas. Like, when did you start to feel like, all right, I'm in the mix here?
It was actually against Chris Joseph.
Come on now.
It was actually against Chris Joseph in Syracuse, my sophomore year.
Okay.
Beating them to get to our first 6-16 because they were a 3 seed and we were 11. And I actually played really well that game. Mm-hmm. And then from then, I think Buzz installed the trust in me that you're the starting point guard. After beating Chris Joe in the second round.
I knew you were going to throw it in one more time.
Yeah. So that's when I actually got the trust from him that I'm at the helm and we're working together. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah. So I get into my senior year now, slow grind. Man, that was the hardest individual. Like, remember, I before I tell you this, remember I was just saying that, slow grind, grooving, I know what to expect, right? Mm. I get to my senior year now. I'm feeling good, senior year, man, on campus. We get to individual workouts. I'm like, I'm already prepared for this. I'm good. We do the individual work. I'm doing my individual workout. Buzz, I think it was like 30 minutes left in the workout. The workouts are 45 minutes, right? But that first 15 minutes is always hell. So I get through that first 15 minutes. Buzz is like, stop the workout. Everyone's like, what? Damn, we're done already? Buzz is being nice today. He's like, Junior. No, he's like, throw me 2 tennis balls. He's like, Junior, get in the dead corner. So the dead corner is where the sideline and the baseline meets, in the dead corner right there. So when he says get to the dead corner, that means a zigzag, right? Because we do zigzags every day. So he handed me the 2 tennis balls. And he's like, zigzag. He's like, go. So I'm like, all right, this is light. So we usually do 2 rounds, so 8 altogether. So I'm like, all right, let me bang out these 8. I'm good. I bang out the 8. He's like, keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep
just
going.
You. It's just you.
The whole team is watching me.
Yeah.
Keep going. So it's getting to a point where I'm getting so exhausted, right? I can't even hold my arms up and I'm in the defensive stance and I'm going super slow because I've been doing zigzag slides for about 25 minutes at this point, right? So it's getting to a point where he's just trying to prove a point to the team that I'm tough and I've been through a lot of shit and I'm going to get through it. Mm-hmm. Sorry, I swear.
That's okay.
But yeah, so I'm doing the zigzag and I'm getting to a point where I'm about to pass out and the team is they're cheering me on and I'm getting that extra juice. I'm like, you cannot break me. You can't break me. And I'm holding the tennis balls and I throw the tennis balls and I start getting into another level. You know what I mean? Everyone starts going crazy. So there's the zigzag where you basically slide twice and you banana cut to the half court line and take a charge, right? So imaginary charge,
Yeah.
So he didn't tell me to do that. I'm doing regular zigzags. I explode and I get into another another level and I'm like, yeah, you can't break me. So I as soon as I got to the next dead corner, I did turn and run. Mm-hmm. And then I sprint to the half court line and I'm standing there and I'll tell my teammates to get a ball and push the ball in my chest so I could take a charge. That's how I finished it. I'm like, yeah, you can't break me. I'm here. So he just starts with his chew in his mouth, starts clapping. That was basically all right, we're ready to ride. Like, yeah, we're ready to ride. Everyone's like, yeah, like, this is how the season's going to be. Like, you know, that was to set it off.
He's dipping at practice?
He dips at practice.
Oh,
he dips everywhere.
Oh, my God.
He's spitting true in your face.
While he yells at you?
Yeah.
He's pulling the pieces off your forehead and cheek. Like.
Yo, he is sick, man.
We want to take a moment and thank our sponsor, Parkside Brewery. Located in the heart of Port Moody on Brewers Row, Parkside offers an amazing atmosphere with one of the best summer patios around. If you can't make it to the brewery, located at 2731 Murray Street, then hit any government retail store and try the Dawn Pilsner, the Dusk Pale Ale, or my favorite, the Dreamboat Hazy IPA. A Hoops Journey promises that the beer at Parkside is much, much, much better than the owner, Sam Payne's streaky jump shot. We hope to see you Parkside. After a brief hiatus, Good Lad Clothing has returned, but under a new location. 3283 Main Street is where they can be found. Name drop a Hoops Journey to get 10% off any clothing items in store. The store no longer offers barber, but you can find the best retail around. Thanks to our sponsor, Good Lad Clothing, and we hope to see you there.
So yeah, that was set it off, man. We end up, you know, we end up winning the Big East regular season title. We end up being a 3 seed, and we end up going to the Sweet 16 again. But this time, you know, I have to take it to a next level, man. I led my team to the Elite Eight my senior year. If it wasn't for CJ Fair from Syracuse, we would have been in the Elite Eight. You know, he crushed me. I went up for a rebound. He crushed me. And I had to be out for a couple minutes, and they made a run, and it was a wrap after that. But that was a crazy moment, man. College was crazy. 3 Sweet 16s and an Elite Eight. I couldn't ask for anything more. The experience was lovely, man.
How hard are those runs to go on? I mean, you make it out that first weekend, and then you get back, and the campus is that much more hyped, and you got to stay focused and go to a couple classes maybe and sort of get ready. Like, it just seems like the momentum builds with each round and must get more and more stressful.
Well, for us, like, it was like we worked so hard on at our home, at our facilities, that like nothing really rattled us, because like there's nothing harder than how we practice, how we go about each day. So like that's what Buzz really prepared us for, like going through boot camp, like earning your jersey, like waking up preseason 5:30 a.m. every morning. Like, you know, like there's points where like, you know, my friends will come visit me and they're like kind of feel sorry for me because I have to wake up 5:30 a.m. every day. But that really prepared us for the moments like that. So that's why I felt like we had that major run the 4 years I was there, man. Those were probably Buzz's 4 hardest years in terms of like going on his players. Because, you know, he was just young coming up, just got the Marquette job. So he was trying to prove a point.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's crazy, man. I didn't realize that he was like that young in his coaching career with you guys. So it's such a good point that he probably was really putting it to the test. But I mean, to do that a few times in a row and make it to that Elite Eight, that must have felt really good to just take that final next step, like you say. Just to sort of crack through that one, you know, as a senior. Right. And did the dudes look at you different after that drill? I'm sure they did. Yeah. They just knew that was the standard for this year, right?
Badass leader, just straight like under my tail, like homies, like big bro, like that. Yeah. He made that confirmation that day, man. Me zigzagging for like 30 to 40 minutes with 2 tennis balls in my hands, and then had the next level to like even like turn up even more while I was going through that adversity. That all stems back to day one, man. And it's crazy.
And then that so the final buzzer goes and the career at Marquette comes to an end. What's the mental state next for the next step? I mean, was the NBA in the back of your mind? Was it something that you aimed for? Did you go to some workouts or? Yeah. What was that?
So after the season, I actually had a conversation with Coach Jay Triano, you know, trying to figure out what I was going to do. And
shout out Jay.
Come back. Right, my boy. Was I gonna come back for the summer and like, you know, do training camp and, you know, do university games, or was I gonna go through the process? I told him, like, I'm so close right here, like, you know what I mean, I just wanna, like, you know, go through the process, you know, just to say, like, you know, I actually did it. Like, you know, like I worked so hard to get here undrafted. So after the season, you know, I stay at school. I don't go home. I start training for, you know, possible workouts and stuff. So I get a workout with the Wizards. I get a workout with the Bucks. And then after that, the draft passes by, and, you know, I get a call to go to summer league. Summer league, I I was also with a guard that got drafted named Nate Walters. So from day one, before summer league, we got workouts and practice and stuff. From day one, you know, I was on Nate Walters' ass, you know, just that chip on my shoulder, like I didn't get drafted and this and that. So I'm just on him. If summer league goes by, you know, I'm staying even kill, like not too high, not too low, you know, just working hard. I don't play in the summer league. I'm obviously feeling down, like, man, like when another opportunity is going to come my way. So I end up actually making it back in time, I think, for, was it? No. Actually, I played summer league. Yeah, I didn't play. And I come home. I think I made it back in time to go on a tour with the national team, I think. No, that was my second year. No, so I come back home. I'm chilling, trying to figure out, like, what am I going to do? Mm-hmm. Like, am I going to get a call to training camp, or should I just go overseas? You know, my mind, my gut feeling was telling me just to, like, stick it out, because, like, you know, I actually, like, did, you know, good stuff in college, and I actually played for the national team for a long time. So I know, like, I could, there's a possibility I could get a call. So right. I'm at home chilling. The Bucks actually called me and told me that they're going to bring me in for training camp. I'm like, wow, like, this is it right here. Like, you know, like, it's time right here to show, like, you know, it's time to be a dog. So me, Greek Freak, and Chris Middleton and Nate Walters were the rookies at the time for the Bucks. So I'm seeing this long, lanky guy just, like, raw, just, like, flying from, like, the free throw line and stuff. I'm like, yo, dog, this guy is going to be, like, something, you know, because he's so athletic and long. Chris Middleton was quiet, chilled, very chilled, get his work in, whatever. So we're in training camp now, you know, just going through individual workouts, whatever. We get through media day. You know, I'm a hometown kid. I played at Marquette for 4 years. You know, the Bucks been seeing me all 4 years. So I go upstairs. I go to the GM office. I'm there with the GM. I think the owner was there, and he's like, so, yo, how does it feel to sign for this much money, like, for your first time? And I'm like, I'm blessed. Like, you know, I've been through a lot. Like, you know, this is a blessing. I'm just going to, you know, work hard and, you know, be a great teammate. And, you know, this is amazing for me to see. So I get downstairs now. You know, I put on my jersey. I do the media. Boom. I get back to my locker room. I'm taking off my jersey. The HR lady comes, and she's like, you got to go upstairs. The GM wants to talk to you. I'm like, huh? Like, what? The GM wants to talk to me. I'm a rook. What? So I go upstairs now. I go upstairs in the GM office. You got the GM, the owner, the coach, the assistant coach, like, all the coaches. Like, everyone's in there. I'm like, yo, what is going on here? Like, did I do something wrong? So I'm in there now. They're like, yeah, you know, you got a lot of experience with the national team. You're a great winner, great leader in college. You know, but I'm sorry to tell you that, you know, we got to let you go because of visa issues. And the only reason why we got to let you go, because, you know, we can't get you a visa right away. It's going to take 15 to 30 days because the government's shutting down. My heart went to my stomach, like, right away. And I started, like, sobbing in tears.
Yeah.
Like, what? How? Like, what? They're like, who's your agent? So and so and so. I'm not going to air them out in here, but that was like, yo, man, that one probably hit as much as the tragedy.
Yeah.
Like, man, like, that one, like, I couldn't stop crying for, like, so, like, I was crying probably for, like, two days, like, just crying to my mom, crying to everyone, you know? So I get cut by the Bucks because of my visa issues. I didn't even get to participate in training camp. And I go back home and I'm figuring out, like, what's next, like, you know? So I'm at home for like probably like a month or two, and it's so late, and, you know, I'm a rookie. So, Like, there was a job available for me in the Republic of Georgia, and I went there, just reset my mind, and just told myself, like, I made it this far, like, you got to keep pushing, like, just don't break. So I end up playing in Georgia, Republic of Georgia. I end up being the best guard of the year, taking my team to the semifinals where they haven't been before, and had a really good season, my rookie season. And after my rookie season, I came back home, and I spent the whole summer with the national team. Went on a European tour. Basically was with the national team all summer, and from that European tour, I had got an offer in Italy, Serie A, top league Italy, but I didn't really have that much, guidance or, a lot of, like, I don't know, I was more like quiet, like to myself. I felt like if I more reached out to guys when I was younger, I would have more had a sense of like how the pro game works. Because I'm thinking that, no matter where I go, I'm going to compete for the spot and, get the spot in my mind. But you already know how the pro game goes, payroll, experience, doesn't matter what you do, like, So I'm like, wow, like, that's a nice deal. Italy, second year, I have an opportunity to compete and, do good. So I did good this summer with the national team. I signed the offer in Avellino, Italy. I get to Avellino, Italy. I have a good training camp, a really good training camp. And I'm thinking, like, yeah, I'm going to take this guy's spot. So this guy was played in the NBA, point guard, and he was just fresh off the NBA, and that was his team from day one.
No matter what.
Yeah, that was his team from day one. So in my mind, I'm like, all right, yeah, compete, played really well. But in the coach's mind, like, yeah, like, you're the backup, like, Yeah. So I go through the whole year of like competing and playing really hard. In my mind, I'm like, I don't care what y'all do. I'm still going at this guy in practice. So I do a whole year of basically being a practice player in Avellino. So that really hurt me. So I went through that.
Yeah, but you're a dog, man. Not many, once again, not many dudes would do that, right? They'd just be like, fly me home.
Yeah.
And you're like, nope. I'm going to go at this guy. I'm going to get better by guarding him. And I'm going to show everybody at practice every day that this should be my spot, no matter what. And everyone will know it. And everyone will know it.
Exactly. So like all those guys that they're high payroll back then, they know, like, they can, they know, like, I was there every day competing, So I get through that season. We had all the money, all the talent in the world, but they just couldn't figure it out. There's too much star power. So we end up not having a good season. I end up not playing. So I'm from being so high to being in a messed up situation where I don't know where I'm going to be playing next year, because I got put in a situation where I was a backup and there was no going back from there. So I'm in a position now, like, where, like, my name is going down, like, because I'm not getting put in the right situation. So after Italy, I think I played. Okay, after Italy, it was Pan Am time with the national team. So I'm like, all right, it's Pan Am time. Like, if we win and we do good, everyone's going to be eating, right? So the goal, the battery I was putting in all these guys back was like, yo, we got to win. We're on home soil. We got to win. If everyone wins, everyone's going to eat, right? So Pan Am summer, we're preparing. We're preparing. All this is facts, right? I'm telling you all facts, okay?
I believe it.
So we get to training camp now. Man, the first day of training camp, Dave Smart, right? Dave Smart, the Carlton legend coach. Yes, Dave Smart lines all of us up on the baseline, and he gives us our little talk before practice, right? He lines all of us on the baseline. He's like, Junior Cadougan and Daniel Mullins, come out to the top of the 3-point line right now. We're like, yo, what is going on here? Like, what's going on? He's like, 1-on-1 to 2 in front of the whole camp. Jamal Murray, Anthony Benson, Bullard, Dwight Pop, like all of us in front of the whole camp. Junior Cadougan and Daniel Mullins 1-on-1 right now. So we go 1-on-1. We're battling, whatever. He's like, These are dogs. This is the tone we have to work out to be successful in these Pan Am games. This is the tone we have to practice. This is the energy we have to practice with every day. So that Pan Am team, Coach Smart set the tone by putting me and Daniel Mullins first thing fresh. First thing smoking, 1-on-1, top of the key. So, you know, that was a cool experience, you know.
It's gotta make someone feel good on day one, you know?
Yeah. So that was super lit. So we get through training camp, and I'm just like roughing up Jamal Murray, just like being a dog, like, you know, just like roughing it up. Coach Cal's there. Coach Cal's like, yeah, he needs that. Yeah, he needs that. So me and Jamal, you know, developing a relationship. We're going through it, whatever. We're going through training camp. We get to the games, man. I end up starting, you know, playing really well, and boom, this kid. Those couple of days he spent with me worked, because this kid, Jamal Murray, went nuts in the Pan Am games. Went nuts, you know what I mean? And that made me feel like that was like the starting of, like, you know, me getting to, like, you know, more on the vet side, you know, that Pan Am right there. So like for me to, like, you know, groom him all week, and for him to come out and have that performance, that was big time, you know what I'm saying? So we get to Pan Am games, we do really well. We lose in the championship gold medal game to Brazil. We win our silver medal, big time, you know, big time. Win our silver medal. And, you know, after that summer, I'm like, all right, you know, just won a silver medal. Like, I'm back, like, you know, but like time just kept going by. I'm not really getting the offer. I'm like, dang, man, that Italy job really messed me up. Like, you know, like nothing's going on. So I had got a connection through Jermaine Rock Anderson, my OG. You know, he played long time for the national team.
Yes, sir.
One of his coaches was a coach in Greece that had coached him, I don't know, one of these places he played, and, you know, we got connected through there. Even that Greece experience was a lot to deal with, because like the economy was messed up. We had to make sure we took our money out the ATM every week so it doesn't build up. So, like, you know, we could take our money home. We don't have to ask them to transfer it. Getting paid late, like 30 days late.
Hopefully you get paid, yeah.
Disaster over there, right? So like my mind is just like going through a lot of stuff right now. You know what I'm saying? The last 4 or 5 years been like 4 or 5 years been nuts for me. You know what I'm saying? Been through a lot. So I'm like, man, like this is a lot to like take in, like, you know? So I end up getting through the season there, playing up and down minutes. The coach don't know what he want to do, what rotations he wants to have. So I have a rocky season there, kind of. I end up averaging, like, you know, 7 points, 3 assists, and like probably like under 15 minutes. So I have an okay season there, and I'm like, yo, man, like this is not going good right now. Like, you know, like I need to pause, take a minute right now, and like, you know, regather. Like, you know, like this is really not. So I'm trying to figure stuff out, and you're at
that crossroads, man.
Yeah, the crossroads, and there's a league that was running at home, but it was okay, right? So I'm a guy that just, you know, I'm a leader, so like I'm gonna like go do like make decisions like and not care what people think, you know. So I was like, yo, man, I need to be in a league where like I feel like not comfortable, like where I feel wanted and I can play my game, you know.
Makes a big difference.
Yeah, it makes a huge difference, you know, when you're actually like enjoying work, you know, like, and you're feeling wanted. So like, I'm like, all right, there's an NBL there. Let me see what's going on with this London Lightning team that I always see on NBA TV, like commercials and stuff. Like, you know, like, let me see what's going on. So Julius was the coach there. And I had a conversation with him, and I'm like, yo, straight up, like, it hasn't been going good overseas. Like, it's just been too up and down, too rocky. Like, I haven't been put in the right positions. Like, people like don't think I could like really hoop no more. Like, I need to get back on like my stuff. He's like, yeah, this is the situation in London. This is who, like, you know, my standard, how I work. So I just got attracted to like how he works. Like, it's kind of similar to like that dog mentality, like that hard work. So I'm like, all right, like this is the guy, like this, I could work with this guy. So I end up basically setting another trend, you know, like guys were scared to come back home and play because they'll think of who thinks what and this and that. But
yeah,
I basically came home and set the trend, like to basically like come home as like, you know, a well-known name and just play ball, like, you know.
it's actually true, man. I never thought of it like that, but I remember because I know Doug Plumb, and then we had Kyle on the podcast as well, and then sort of started to follow it, and I was like, wow, Junior's playing in that league, you know, and then, you know, Ransford made his way out there, and then
Carl,
Carl, and then they weren't afraid to like take the risk on a few American guys, and you got what's his name, Royce, right? And kind of just
Royce was on my team.
Yeah,
he set the record and stuff.
I'm like, something's happening here, and the crowds were nuts, and
man, once I joined that league, like it turned around dramatically. Like if it wasn't for the COVID, like it was really doing well. Like
for sure,
that could have been a situation where it's NBL and then you transition to the summer league, like in the CEBL, right? So,
right.
Yeah, I decided to come back home, and I played London. I won my first pro championship. We set the record. I think we lost 4 games all season. I think we were like 52-4. Everything was going good. I felt happy again, and, I got to visit my family. Mind you, I left when I was 15, and there was like no summers, like mad traveling from hotel to hotel. So like me playing at home and being close to home was like really great for me. Like that was a mental flush for me, Like, so I played home, won the championship. The next year, unfortunately, I got, hurt. I had a knee scope, and things didn't really go. It's a business, right? So like, they had to we had to part ways. So man, during that time after my championship in London, man, I end up getting my girlfriend pregnant, and I didn't really have a job, right? Mm-hmm. Like I was hurt just coming off of surgery and stuff. And, that was another obstacle for me. But like stemming back to like the beginning, I told myself like I have to get through this. So what ended up happening? After surgery, I end up leaving the team. My daughter's 2 weeks old. And I told my girl, honestly, I can't be sitting at home sobbing. Like, I don't care if if I'm healed up all the way. I'm going to find a job. So I end up going to work at UPS, right? And this job, I think, oh my God, this job was so taxing on the body, like taking those boxes outside the truck and
up and down those 4 little stairs.
Yeah.
You do that 150 times in one day, man.
This is my first job ever.
Yeah.
Like my first real job. So I'm at UPS. I'm like, yeah, this is going to be a workout. That night shift got to me, man, because at the time, that summer, right? So I'm working at UPS probably from like April to say July. Mm-hmm. So at the time when the seasons are over, the national team has like a training center, right? At Lakeshore down there. So I would go to work at night, right? Mm-hmm. Come home at like 3:34, right? After you're working or after you work out, it's hard to go to sleep. So I would stay up, make it to Lakeshore for 9 a.m., do my individual workout, drive back home, and get my rest in the daytime for work at 11:30 at night. So the national team coaches are like, yo, how are you doing a night shift and coming to workouts in the morning? And I'm like, yo, I don't know. I don't know. I'm just locked in. I got to do what I got to do, right? So I go through that process of training with the national team and working at UPS that summer. And while I'm working at UPS, my 15-minute breaks, more 10 minutes, but I'm reminiscing and looking back and like thinking like, yo, like I'm really in here, like how fast things could mm-hmm. just change, just leave. Yeah. I was just a phenom not too long ago, mm-hmm. just in the Elite 8 not too long ago, right? So I don't know, man, like time's going by and working at UPS and I get a message from Doug Plumb. Yo, do you want to come to St. John and play? I got you. Man, how fast I hopped on that and started to get in training mode and started to get back that fire. Like I'm like, my boy Doug Plumb is going to be the head coach. I'm going to get to play my game.
You,
So I quit
UPS truck doing 150 down the freeway in Toronto. Just,
right? So, so I tell UPS like, yeah, I gotta leave because, I got an offer. Like, I'm really a basketball player. Like, to be honest, I was just here to like, work a part time. They're like, what? You play basketball? I start showing them pictures, and they're like, oh my god, let's take a picture together and stuff like that. So I was hiding my identity the whole time, and I actually revealed it before I left. So I'm going through a UPS.
Good for you, though, man. I mean, like, so many times you become a parent and you kind of think, how many people would have just been like, no, I'm going to try to grind it out and figure it out. You're like, no, there needs to be bread on the table, And again, Junior, I think it says a lot about you as a human being, man. I mean, not trying to over pat you on the back, but it was dad time and you stepped up. You just did what was the right thing to do in your heart, and your kids will thank you for that down the road. And then look how it works out, right? Good things happen to good people, man. You're sitting there, having your break going, what the hell? And then all of a sudden Dougie Plumb texts you. It's like, it's funny how it works, but it usually does happen to the people that deserve it. You know what I mean?
Right. I appreciate you, man. Like, for real. You just got to be humble, man. For real. For
sure.
But yeah, Doug Plumb calls me and was like, yeah, come to St. John. I'm like, yeah, for sure. Like, I'll come. Like, at the time, like, I didn't have nothing, So I tell UPS, I got to go because who I really am. And, it was a great vibe, before I left. And, like, I actually felt happy telling them who I really was. So I get to St. John now. I'm with Dougie. And Dougie's like, yeah, I don't even have to tell you nothing. Like, I rock with you. Like, just do your thing. You're probably going to have to, like, work your way up because the guy's already been on the team. Mind you, we've been talking. You already know how the story goes. Like, I always had to, like, work for it. So that was nothing to me. I'm like, okay, like, I'll work for that. So
been there, done that.
Yeah, been there, done that. So by game 8 against Sudbury, I remember game 8, man. Like, I was playing backup minutes. Like, I was getting my feet wet, just practicing good every day. Game 8, I guess our starting point guard gets into foul trouble, man. I take over the game. We win the game. From that, like, Dougie's like, all right, it's time. So we go through the whole season. We go through half of the season. We end up picking up Big Glenn Baby Davis. That made a difference. We picked him up. We won 12 in a row. I was racking up player of the month, player of the weeks. After having surgery the year before and, parting ways with my old team, I come back this season, get most improved player, first team All Canadian, second team All NBL. The fire is back lit. From that UPS experience, man, it's only been up from there. Like, my career is turned back all the way around. Things are, going how it's supposed to. Like, people are giving me my flowers. Like, these young kids are just, starting to hear about me and things like that. So, going through all that, that UPS experience really turned the page back to where it was supposed to be, So
that's cool, man. Yeah. And I love the story about just coming back to Canada. And I think it's great that not that it was a risk, but it kind of was a risk because there's a lot of unknowns, right? You obviously trusted Kyle's word and respected the fact that he wouldn't put you in a bad spot. But sometimes things don't go the way we want. But just to be able to do that and start to create some momentum, I think is big. And now, make your way out to the Bandits. We've got the Bandits going out here. And hopefully nothing but good things continue with these leagues, right? Because they're good opportunities for younger and older guys to still be hooping and doing their thing. So I think it's really, really cool, man. Yeah. Legit. This is like a legit hoops journey. This is like literally the name of, you are the name of the show, man.
Man, like, it's crazy because, like, a lot of the people involved, like, with basketball now, like, they really seen my journey back in the day without social media, without all that. Like, I couldn't even imagine if I had social media back then. So it was a grind for real to, like, build my name up from Eastern, just having that determination to, get my name out there.
For sure, man. It's amazing. You ready to do some fun questions before we plug out and we can go back being dads?
All right, cool.
Okay, man.
Kids are banging the door.
Yeah. I've been waiting, man. I've been waiting. You sit there. I was like, they're good kids. They're doing what they're supposed to. Either that or you got the TV on. But either way, I'm not judging.
Trust me, you know.
Yeah. Okay, man. Dead or alive? Concert, favorite artist, whoever. You got the best seat in the house. Who are you going to see? You can do more than one. You can do more than one.
Oh, I would like to see Jay-Z.
Yes, sir. You haven't seen Jay-Z yet?
No, I haven't seen Jay-Z. I only seen Rick Ross.
Ricky Ross. You need to see Jay-Z. That is a show.
Yeah?
Oh, you just forget how many hits he has too, right? Like, and he's a performer, man. Like, he's Hove, man.
Yeah. He's Hove. Like, I want to see Jay-Z for sure. That's pretty much it. I want to see Hove in concert.
Love it. My first ever concert was the Hard Knock Life tour. It was in Vancouver. It was Method Man, Redman, DMX, and Jay-Z.
Wow, that's lit.
You have a top five? You have a top five?
Top five?
Yeah. What, if we open the Spotify or the Apple Music, what do we got? What's
right now? Top five. We got not in no order, but Baby, Moneybagg Yo, Shy Glizzy, Jada Youngin. And then I can throw in my pop in there, man. I just like pop sometimes, you know what I mean?
Yeah, fair enough. Wow. Okay, you just named like 3 artists I've never even heard of, so. I try, man. I try. They label me as an old head, right?
Yeah,
they label me as an old head.
Crazy.
But I just went I just went and saw YBN Corday a couple weeks ago. Do you know who that is? He's dope.
Ooh, YBN?
YBN Corday, yeah. He's nice. He's got
I hear a song I'll probably know for sure.
Yeah, he's got a couple albums out. I felt really old at that concert, but I'm willing to listen to it all, man. I'll check it all out. I'm not afraid. If you could go back in time to any game for good or bad reason, doesn't matter, what would it be? Would it be relive a moment, to change a moment? Is there a game that sticks out? You kind of mentioned the one, but I don't know if that's the one that you want to go back to.
I say put me back in ABCD camp.
Oh, say more. Yeah,
put me back in ABCD camp. Like, I felt like I was kind of like shy, like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I felt like the kids, man, back then, the States kids were already doing those pro workouts and stuff. In Canada, we're just getting it out the mud and playing like 5-on-5, so we didn't really have those, extra skills in our bag,
Right. Okay. Oh, good. Good reflection. I like that, man. I like that. You've touched on it a little bit, but who have been some of the most important people in your life to this point?
Oh, for sure. Coach Rowe, Roy Rana, Jay Triano, Buzz Williams, Leo Routens, for sure Steve Nash, Rowan Barrett, obviously my mom. Oh yeah, I can't forget Trevor Bullen. He was my junior coach at Eastern.
Yeah.
Coach Carlos Wilson, my coach at Christian Life. Coach Lindsey Davis, my coach in Atlanta.
It's quite a list, man.
Yeah, man. Those are all the people that like put me on the stage to do what I got to do, man. Like, I respect them so much. Like, if it wasn't for Rana taking me from Jane and Finch and bringing me to Eastern, I wouldn't know nothing about the structure of like kind of like being a pro. It was like more of a pro setting over there. You got your shots up, you got your lift in. You did Eastern was a well-oiled machine. So yeah, man, like a shout out Randall and for sure Leo for bringing me in camp at 15 years old. That boosted my hype like tremendously. So
that's great. Yeah, man. Awesome. You got some young kids, so I don't know what it's like in the household, but it's a controversial subject here on this show. How do you feel about ketchup on macaroni?
Only macaroni and cheese, but not macaroni pie.
Not macaroni, just Kraft. Yeah,
only Kraft dinner.
So not like from some real nice macaroni. No, you're like, no. Okay, yeah. Just KD. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough. Do you have a favorite movie or a couple favorite movies all time?
I think it was called Blindside.
Blindside, the football movie?
Yeah, I can relate to that because you gotta remember, I went to prep school. I had a host family. My host family was white. Like, I can relate to that, like, to the T.
Yeah, good movie. Yeah. Good pick, man. Nice.
Yeah.
Like that. Was that Julia Roberts?
Yep, and the big football day, yeah.
Actually, it's Sandra Bullock, but anyways.
Yeah, all right.
That was a nice movie. Me and my host mom actually watched it together, and she cried.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, because she could relate for sure.
And they were a good family?
Oh, yeah, till this day. Like, she actually, like, man, it's funny because she used to be like, boy, you can sleep in. You ain't got to go to AU practice today. I'll tell them that you don't feel well. I'd be like, all right, Mama, good looks. And she actually accepted me for who I was. Like,
right.
You know, coming from the neighborhood and stuff, like I was kind of rough, kind of like, kind of like private, kind of like trust issues, you know? So, like, she really, like, embrace me for who I am, you know?
And then try to you're under my roof, but we can still work together. You know, we don't have to be my rules all the time, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's how you build that trust and that relationship. Cool, man. That's good to hear. If you're getting hungry and you're snacking, man, do you have a favorite bag of chips that you go to?
Anything flaming hot.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm a hot mouth. Like, I eat Scotch bonnet in my rice. Yeah, I'm a sicko.
We got to get you on that podcast. What's it called? Hot Ones. Have you seen that? Where they like talk and then try a.
Oh yeah,
eat
the
wing?
hot wings.
Yeah. Would you just be standing there by the end, ice grilling everyone because nothing affects you? Are you like that?
Oh no, that's the thing about me. I know it'll mess me up, but I
still do it.
Yeah.
I respect it. So what is it? What goes down with it? Like, is it lemonade? Is it milk? Is it water? What helps the hot? Or do you just take it in and just go?
Water. But these days, if it's a nice meal, I'll sneak in a boobay. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, shoot.
Of course. Yeah.
Oh, good stuff. Okay. Who would you like to see on a hoops journey? But you have to help us connect. Who's someone that's got a good story or is like a good human being that you think would be good on the podcast?
I think Kyle Johnson. He played for the British national team. He was in the 2012 Olympics. He played at LIU. He played with me with London, Fraser Valley, last year, Ottawa. Really good guy, really humble guy. He's currently playing in Iceland now, but yeah, he's 12-year pro and he's been around now.
All right, let's do it.
Kyle Johnson.
Next up, Kyle. You know we're going to tag you. Now, as you look back on all the hoopers that you've seen, you've named a lot of guys, and you can rename them whoever they are, but have there been a few dudes along the way where you were like, okay, like I've got the scouting report here, but that was really hard, or you've seen play and you're like, man, this is another level, you know, was the national team or Division I, like who were some of the dudes that were like, whoa, these are some ballers?
Man, one dude that I always tell people this story, at the time, the most flexible, fast, quick, twitch muscle, PG, Kemba Walker. Oh my God. Oh my jeez. He would do a crossover and his knee will touch the floor and he would bounce back up. Like, he was something else.
That run in the Big East tournament?
Oh my, I've seen that live.
You're there, huh?
Yeah, that was crazy. That was crazy.
He was like, that was out of body kind of stuff, man.
Yeah, for sure. At Maui too, for sure.
Oh yeah. Right. Good pick. Love it.
College Kemba.
Yeah, College Kemba. Yeah. And I heard him on a few podcasts. He seems like a really genuine, nice guy. So you always like that.
Cool. He's cool.
This has been great, man. Thanks. And it's been great to kind of connect with you a bit and get to know you. But the last question we always ask everyone is, if you could do it all again, you would what?
If I could do it all again, I would invest my time more into national team and development and less like AAU travel team. Because back then I didn't really think that it was, I thought it was more about the hype and stuff, but I felt like if I was with the national team working my way up with the men's team, by the time I got to a certain age, I would have been probably more of a killer, have that that AAU game plus the polish. I felt like I would have been super polished and think about it, like kind of like more like a Ricky Rubio of Canada. I would have been more of a Ricky Rubio of Canada if I had put more time into the national team than playing AAU. That's what I think.
Interesting.
Yes, AAU put me on the bigger stage to be around more higher ups on the basketball USA level, but I felt like if I had forgot about the hype more and be more invested into polishing myself as a man, my game, I would have stuck with the men's team from 15 all the way through instead of like going back and forth. That's what I think about. So, because I see kids doing it now, they're not even, some kids are getting more recognition playing up younger than playing in those AAU tournaments. So, yeah.
And that right there, sir, is a great way to finish. That's a good reflection. And we do have some young listeners who check these episodes out. So I think that's some good reflection for someone who's been there, a true hoops journey across Canada, across the States, across the big pond to Europe, Love the energy. Really, really, really appreciate the time. Any last sort of reflections or thoughts before we get you on your way? It's almost bedtime for the little ones, so I know you got some work to do, but anything that you've left out or a last reflection before we get you going? And thank you again, my friend. We really appreciate this.
No, it's an honor, to be on your podcast and to share my story because, this generation needs to hear about me and hear about the things, for their own experience. So, for you to, have me on your show is an honor. And, hopefully I could share my story more so these kids could, really know, how it goes down.
The biggest thing I think, Junior, is and you touched on this, and I'm much older than you are. Well, not that much, but I look like it. Is the power of social media. Like you talked about it, right? You mentioned having the BlackBerry and BBM, right? And I'm sure some of the kids are like, what's BBM? But now we have these platforms, and that's kind of the pride that we're taking is sharing these Canadian stories and basketball stories of people who we can take something away. Like I don't enjoy listening to a podcast where I don't learn anything about someone. I like to listen and hear a story where I can apply it to my life or, maybe connect with it. And I think when people hear that story for the first time that don't know yours, they will do that. And we're thankful that you were able to do that. And I do hope your story continues to get out there because it's the Achilles story on its own that's a whole podcast in itself, man. But,
crazy.
And just the amount of determination and will that you showed to continue to get up when lots of us would have just stayed down, right? And to continue to fight through those things. And those will be things that your kids will pick up on, that people I'm sure that are in your circle already pick up and love and appreciate about you, right? And the more people that can hear about it, the better, because it's just makes the world a better place. And maybe some young baller will hear it and make them a better baller because of it. So thank you for your time today, sir.
Man, thank you, man. It's a pleasure.
You bet. Continued success and blessings, and to you and your family. What a great episode. Shout out to our sponsors, Parkside Brewery and Good Lad Clothing, and we'll catch you on the next one.